Welcome to Keeping Up with Trends. This is Fred Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and I'm joined by our host, Sergio Davids. And today, what do we got on the table, Sergio?
Well, it's been a very gloomy week in Cape Town of late. It's just been pouring down, but I'm hoping today's topic might make us both smile. I'm thinking we'll continue our series on interesting, business ideas, and I've got a couple proven models to you that I think you're going to like.
Proven.
Yeah, as in these are actual businesses that have made a lot of money and are growing.
So my question is that to our listeners and to ourselves, is it something that we could scale into or jump into? Does it take a lot of capital to get into it?
Well, let me pitch the business to you, and then you can answer that
Because
ourselves.
if they're making money already, right? They're
Yeah,
not
they're making
doing.
money already.
Okay, so let's
So yeah, so this is why I'm saying it's proven. All right,
shoot, as they say.
awesome. Okay, so I don't know if you've been in, Boy Scouts. I was, and one of the things I really enjoyed was going camping, and I really miss it. I love
Is that
getting
a big
out in the
thing in
great
South
outdoors.
Africa?
Oh yeah. Well, I suppose in England and America too, they love going caravanning, but camping's big in South Africa. Fishing trips, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
no, in the States it's huge.
yeah. So what they found though is that, especially with millennials and Gen Zs, aren't familiar with, great outdoors mainly because, you're glued to your phone. They would love to be in the outdoors, but would still be attached to, modern amenities. So something called glamping has taken off in the last, well, say 5 or 6 years. So glamorous camping, right? You get the best of both worlds. You rough it in the outdoors, but you camp with like modern day luxuries. Okay.
But okay, so expand that. What do the amenities include?
Okay, so this one company, for instance, they'll provide you with quite a lavish tent. It's got carpeting, tables, an actual bed rather than, rough ground sleeping bag that you and I might remember. They've got you get a generator, maybe a mini bar. So it's basically like taking a hotel suite and putting it outdoors for you.
That's a little bit too much. I mean, like, I think that's, that
I mean,
defeats the purpose of going out
I,
there.
I
I
would
mean,
say
like,
that too. Like you're supposed to be connected to nature
yourself
and put
and
your phone
nature.
down.
Right.
Disconnect. So, I mean, some of the more massive ones can contain like TV, radio, plastic domes that you can, sleep under and you can look up in the stars. According to Forbes, right, the glamping industry is a $1.8 billion, market. I mean, this is big. This is no joke taking off.
Well, yeah. I mean, ultimately, there is a market for it. I would say like porta potties. Those would be something I would.
I
That's
was
one.
about to say, you need to take care of your ablutions, if you're going camping.
So I'm saying,
But
like, in terms of that, I would want that. That would probably something I would invest in if I went on one or two trips a year.
yeah,
That is probably something I would want to invest in. But otherwise, it makes sense. I mean, I could see how people have yuppied up, as they say.
exactly. But okay, well, let me ask you this: would you ever take your kids on a glamping trip?
Um,
Would they not miss their phones, for instance?
my kids don't have phones for
Oh
that
wow!
matter.
Oh wow!
I do not. I mean, if they do have phones, they don't have smartphones.
Okay.
That's part of and we don't have TV at home, so they're
Oh
really,
wow!
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're really clamping down on them in terms of try to give them
Well, you
the
know
least
what? It's
amount of
good. Too much stimulation is a bad thing.
screen time. I would try
Yeah, too
to
much screen time.
discourage it, and in fact, I try to avoid bringing the phone into my home,
Yeah.
the smartphone, because they also want to watch stuff, and so they ask me for it.
Of
Um,
course.
so if I'm watching it, they're watching it. So so I have to live by my um by what I preach to them. So that is something I think that. So I mean, like, if I wanted to take them to a hotel, I would take them to a hotel. If
Right.
I wanted to take them camping, I would take them camping. I wouldn't. I don't know. Besides a porta potty, I don't think I would want to. You
But
know.
you don't think they'd maybe, miss, some of the stuff they got at home, Dad? Why do we have to sleep on the floor? You know, I miss my bed.
I'm saying at the same time, why don't you just go to a hotel then?
Yeah, it's a strange world where you could be in the middle of the wilderness but still have a plasma screen TV in a tent.
See, I wouldn't do that. That would definitely would not do. That just defeats the whole purpose.
All right. Well, speaking of, more interesting things, I've got another one for you.
Okay, bring it on.
Sure. So we spoke about in our last podcast about, pet hotels. And here in Cape Town, there's quite a famous one. It's got a part restaurant as well where, the dogs can eat around you. There's a company called Woofies that has basically expanded this business model, right? Where you've got a pet hotel combined with like an Airbnb business model. So you'll find people around you that is able to, pet sit for you and connecting these people.
Okay. I mean, it's like the Tinder. it sounds like the Tinder of canine.
Yeah, let's swipe for people I like to take care of my
You have a
pets for me.
boy, I have a girl. Let's put them together. Let's make a
Yes.
family.
So this is what's staggering about this. This is they reported that they're making 250,000 a month just
Wow,
on
that's
this
ridiculous.
business model.
Well, I'm
So
saying
it means there's a great need for this.
I mean, for sure. I mean, the fact that people have canines or dogs or whatever type of pets that they have today. I mean, I seen people having otters as pets today,
Oh wow.
which is really cool. Like they're cute. They could be cute. They could be trained. Like
Yeah.
why do we limit ourselves to dogs? I mean, there's so many other.
Hey, I grew up with rabbits and
Okay.
chickens, and I guess anything can be a pet as long as you put, a bit of love and, training involved. But yeah.
I mean, I believe it's healthy for children to grow up with some sort of animal in the house.
Oh yeah.
Some to like a gerbil or a rabbit or a dog. I like, just to expose ourselves a little bit. In my household, my wife would either I would be in the house or the dog would be in the house, not both of them. So,
Awesome.
so that's why we don't have one. But
Yeah.
the point is that um, ultimately, people are owning more and more. People are owning dogs and bring them in as families. And if you're traveling or you're overwhelmed and you need to put the dog away
Yeah.
for a few days, makes sense. Like really makes sense. It's something that I think
I'm
is.
I'm just surprised by how big this business is. I mean, you would think that the average pet owner, would accommodate for that. But the fact that this company's just taken off,
I'm not.
and
I'm not so surprised. To tell you the truth, I don't. You know, I
I mean,
think
they
they
found a
would.
market, they found their niche. I mean, it's working.
I would probably argue there probably is a much larger market than this, considering how many
Well,
people.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a market here in Cape Town for that. It's not, a bad idea to sign up for a service like that or even start it.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like if you want to, earn a few bucks, and you need to watch. There's babysitting and there's dog sitting. There's if there's more options today to make money than there was ever an option in the past. It just
Hmm,
depends on our ability to want to do it or not want to do it.
I like that sentiment. So, on to our next one. This I absolutely would want to do. I've seen this a few years ago in when I was in Tokyo, and they had one of these. And I'm so beside myself that I never got a chance to try it. A smash room where people can take out their frustrations, relieve stress on a room filled with destructible, you know, furniture and
Stuff.
odds and ends.
Totally for it.
I mean, if you watch some of these videos of people in the smash room, it's just awesome. You got your protective gear on, you got a baseball bat or whatever weapon of destruction you choose, and you just go to town on like plates, vases, glass, smash up the
Absolutely. I'm
table.
all for it. I'm
Oh
really all
man,
for it. I'm
and
all for it.
it's interesting because this company called Smash Therapy, they started out in Houston, Texas, and they now have about 30 smash rooms across the states. They're charging about you get for 20 minutes. It's about $65 per person. So yeah, apparently it's linked to. They've actually got a study from psychologists about how this can be extremely cathartic to smash things.
Yeah, so the amount of road rage that you see people go
Oh
through,
yeah,
the amount of anger that people are carrying with themselves, and it doesn't take much to turn somebody on and let them go crazy in today's day and age, as opposed to 60 years ago. I think, in my opinion, people today have much less of a tolerance
yeah,
uh, threshold, and I think just in general, it's a crazy issue that we have today, of this lesser than this threshold that we don't have. So I mean, there is therapy in this. There is really therapy in this, because this is how you kind of let out that anger. You kind of let out
exactly.
those endorphins, and
Instead of
those.
screaming at the guy who cut you off,
I
and
mean that.
causing a road rage incident,
I mean,
which
screaming.
happens. Well, what I'm talking about is like, yeah, when they pull alongside you and tell you to roll down your window, and now you've got to be complicit in your own abuse and start swearing or throwing rude gestures at people. Instead of that, just book a session at the Smash Room.
I'm saying, like, that would be good. That would be like, okay, I can handle that.
You'd do it? You'd sign up?
Yeah, for sure.
What's your weapon of choice?
I'm saying, like, I don't know, but I mean, I'm saying, like, have you ever worked in a trading room before, when the guy
No,
lost,
no, no, no.
like, the guy loses, $50,000 overnight, and comes in and he's down $50,000, and 50,000 today is not much money, and he takes his keyboard and just smacks it
Oh
against
my word.
the screen, and it breaks, and you see all the keys or the keyboard, and they're all flying, and it becomes like a whole scene.
Jeez.
And so, imagine doing that, but doing it like, I used to have a mentor. I mean, he
Yeah.
was he was even a clergy, and he would say, like, he would take a pillow in his room and he would just pound it with his fist, just to let out that anger. I mean, we got to let it out. I mean, might as well let it out in a productive way. That's the
I
way I
like
would
that.
think.
I like it. I think it's very, very cathartic, and you underestimate, like you were saying, just how much anger and frustration a lot of people have within themselves.
I mean, look at MMA fights, right? I mean,
Yeah.
talk about Dricus, who
Ah,
just
Dricus Super C. Yeah, yeah. He's got a fight up coming soon.
a very big fight, and
Yeah.
congratulations to him for being Africa's top Africa fighter. Is it no?
He will be when he wins. He will be the highest ranked African, and he will have a shot at the title. So the UFC title. So it's big. It's big either way you look at it.
So I mean, like, we watch that. Why do we watch that? I know why we watch that. We watch that to, you know
Because
kind
there's
of project
something,
yourself
yeah,
as the
there's
one.
something cathartic watching two men just absolutely tear into one another.
It's a
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a good it's a good progress, I think.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is quite an interesting one. Book flipping. Um, there's a market apparently for rare books, and a lot of people over the last 10 years especially have been donating books to Goodwill and old corner store bookstores. And it turns out that I love it when technology sort of comes full circle. And what I mean is, we went from books to Kindle, to reading things on your phone, and now book sales have gone up. They're the highest they've ever been again. I think there's something to be said about that tactile feel, of a book. But anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah. So with this business, there's people that are sourcing, they're making money finding and sourcing rare books. Specifically at, as I mentioned, bookstores, Goodwill, or, just people online.
Absolutely. I
So
think it's a huge business, and I think it'll only get bigger.
so I was listening to this podcast where this guy, he's a professional book flipper is what he calls himself. He says he bought a book for about 50 cents at a Goodwill store, and he knew what he was looking for, right? And he sold it for $4,000 online.
Yeah,
I mean, that's insane.
that's an amazing
That's
return.
that's and I can't, I can understand that people, out there are looking for collector's item, but I'm sure there are people who also just want it for nostalgia's sake. You know, like I mean, I owned, I found this. I was so glad I found it. I found it online. Um, it was I don't know if you remember Mad Magazine.
Sure,
Yeah, so I was a huge fan
I
of Mad
believe it.
Magazine. And I found a rare collection of Sergio Aragone's comics. He used to do these things called marginals, where it's literally in the margins of all the Mad magazines. It's just fun comics, and he had a book of that. And I remember sourcing it online, and it cost me $100, but I bought it, and I love it. It's just it's just there's something about a book that can transport you places, but also you remember where you were when you read it
Yeah, for
and that
sure.
time in your life. Do you have a book like that or books like that?
I do reminiscence of a stock operator, which is like
Yeah.
that was a classic in trading that I bought a long time ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
I keep that. There are I truly believe that there's. You're right. I mean, I remember when the Kindle came out, which is
Yeah.
Amazon's, you know, um, what would you call it? Like a
Well,
pet
yeah, it
reading,
was supposed to be the next evolution in reading. I mean, I bought my mom one.
and they're great. I mean,
Yeah.
I know if I bought one for my wife, we'd never see her ever again. She loves to read. That's the way she
Yeah.
escapes. And so, yes, there is something to that. But there's something more to, I think, handling and touching the book and
Yeah.
the paper and the, just the sensory kind of attachment you have to a book. I think that that's something that that can't be duplicated by using some sort of technology
No.
that makes it almost impersonal. And I actually love to write in my books.
Really?
Yeah,
What, like make notes or circle
yeah,
things,
because
that kind of thing? Okay.
all the books that I really read are, you call them self development, but like
Okay. Okay.
there's psychology stuff and
Yeah.
relationship stuff and um, yeah, all those type of self development kind of
Yeah.
books, and I like to I like to expand some
Mm.
of my skill set, and the only way to do it is just by absorbing books. I mean, I also use Audible
Okay.
to listen to books and kind of like integrate it, and I see it in the
Yeah,
text, and
no. I like
it's
I like
it's also,
I like
yeah,
Audible when I'm driving.
yeah, because it helps me go over some of the stuff and kind of review
Yeah.
it.
So
Um,
So for me, I like to switch off when I'm reading at night. And what I mean is I do, in this job especially, you're reading a lot of news, numbers, figures, markets, I mean, I don't have to tell you, it can be quite intense. So I like to switch off and read, sort of fantasy, a bit of escapism.
Sure,
So yeah,
sure,
that's
sure,
that's
sure.
that's what I like to do to wind down.
I'm more into history. I'm more into the real stuff. I can't read something that's obscure. But I get it. I get
Yeah,
it. I understand
yeah,
it though. I
yeah.
could really understand it because it takes you away from the moment
Exactly. And
and
that's what
puts
a
you
book is for.
right. Well, it puts you in another space completely,
Yeah.
and you're somewhere in another sphere for all intents and purposes. I mean, that's for sure. But I think that there are like as we like I believe that most students today in most schools in the United States have some sort of pads as textbooks. They're not working off of an actual book any longer. Um, and I think that um, as we go from paper to pixels,
Mm,
I think that there's going to be that loss of connection, and I think that that's going to be a detriment. So that's something that we need to kind of learn how to live with, as opposed to kind of disconnect. And I think that books will become much more of a rarity, and as such, they will be collectibles, just like you have stamps or you have currencies that you know.
mm.
I think it's yeah.
Awesome. Um, I think we got finally for one last one. The so construction, is it's ever growing, it's ever expanding, it's always going to be there. And houses are, being built and new developments are always going to be there. But a lot of people have been moving towards, trying to keep costs down as, we have ever growing shortages. And one of the companies, or rather industries, that have found a gap in this are 3D printing uh, architectural firms. So they're able to build, or rather print, homes and buildings.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
I've actually seen there was a demo for South Africa's first 3D printed low cost home.
I think that would be
They
great
yeah,
because if you look at the shanty towns in
yeah.
South Africa, the name of it doesn't come to my head right away.
There's
Uh,
there's there's there are a couple, yeah.
to see people living in those type of, s- uh, I don't know, edifices.
Yeah,
I don't, a tin roof and a tin wall,
yeah.
and it's not insulated in the winter. It's got to be freezing. So that type of stuff, I would really like to know,
Yeah.
if they could, scale
So,
up to.
so this is quite cool. Though the one that they printed in South Africa was done in partnership with government and University of Johannesburg. So this 3D printing machine, right, was valued at 6 million rand. And to build this, they built a two bedroom home, right, complete with bathroom and tacked on garage for the equivalent of about 80,000 rand, which is ridiculous.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. I mean, literally nothing. I mean, think about it like this: in Cape Town, your average two-bedroom home is going to cost you about 800,000 rand. So, and up. So the fact that they were able to do this, and also the machine runs itself.
Wow.
It's got this like concrete polymer, and it just keeps printing and printing all day. You don't have to pay workers. Obviously, someone's got to be there to make sure things are running as they should. But just imagine 3D printing a home for yourself.
Wow. And you have lots of land in Africa. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that there's no shortage there. I would do it. I mean, like, so that these people, you increase their standard of living. It's just such a shame. I mean, there is, unfortunately, there's the infrastructure of the plumbing. You're going to
Yeah.
have to set up that's
Yeah.
proper plumbing.
So according to this, it can leave gaps, and I mean, obviously this machine's a bit basic, so you would have to figure out how to do that, on your own. But if we go to more advanced, right? The world's current tallest 3D printed house is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's part of Saudi Arabia's 2030 vision. It's a 345 square meter villa that was used, and this company called Cobod, they do 3D printing, right? It's 9 meters tall, the structure,
Wow.
and it's completely 3D printed.
Wow.
345 square meter villa at 9 meters tall.
Wow. Cool.
So
Very cool.
according to Cobot, they claim that the printing of this building, they kept the material costs were low. The material for this building was only 10,000 euros, which is nothing.
Yeah,
I
it's nothing.
mean,
It really is nothing. I mean, compared to
I
how,
do. I do worry though, especially with Saudi Arabia. It's one of the biggest, world's biggest country for construction. What's this going to do to, this might be a huge disruptor for the construction industry. You're talking about thousands of jobs that are going to
no,
be
but
replaced
nobody's
by.
using this type of building at its current status. So I don't see that being a major issue.
You don't think so?
No, because nobody's using it.
Look, I would personally love to print my own 3D home. I mean, just imagine you're sitting at your desk, and you have a cool design, call the company out, and you must see this thing. It looks like it looks like a giant printer.
I mean,
Uh,
I also imagine that they come standard, and there's a little bit of customization that you
Yeah,
can
there's
do.
templates. I mean, obviously they got to set the machine right and calibrate it. But they built this two-bedroom house in, they say, 24 hours. This is the one in South Africa. That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
I
But
mean,
that'll
just yeah,
solve your housing crisis in South
yeah,
Africa, which
quick,
you have serious.
very, very quick to do so. So yeah, can I put you down for your own 3D printed villa, complete
Yeah,
with smash room?
for sure.
Awesome. And I think on that note, we'll end it there. Thanks so much, Fred, for all your insights and candor.
My pleasure, Sergio. We'll see you
Awesome,
next
man.
week.
I'll see you on the next one.
You got it.